All right, here we are, grammar fans, dealing with Deadpool. Deadpool will deal with participles, all types. There's really only 3 or 4 types of participles in Latin: present participles, perfect participles, future participles, and the supine. So let's begin. The present participle is formed off, as you can tell, the present stem, and then it has the infix ent. Could be an A, could be an E, and it will follow a two-termination adjective such as omnis pattern. Participles signify only aspect, and for the present participle, only progressive aspect, sending. Now, if you have a translation that says while or at the same time as, you would get the tense from the superordinate verb, such as right here, Barbilus summoned Quintus. Barbilus despairing about his life, or you could also say Barbilus while he was despairing. Where does the was come from? From the superordinate verb arkesiwit, which tells you it's past. The Egyptians raising an uproar, so therefore the Egyptians would be the antecedent. That's what it's referring to. Must agree in gender number case because participles are verbs that act as adjectives. So the present participle would be tolent ace, because that would be nominative plural agreeing with Egyptians. So the Egyptians raising a uproar. Although it could be saying as the Egyptians while they were raising an uproar, if you took the verb kokuerant and took its tense and semantically imported it. Let's talk about the perfect participle passive. Perfect participle passive is a fourth principal part. It's something that you have to memorize, but generally speaking, it looks a lot like the perfect indicative. Mis, for example, and you can tell perfect participles pretty straightforward. They follow a 3-termination or 3-ending adjective following first, second, and second neuter. Perfect participle passives are perfective and, of course, passive. Unless, of course, it's deponent, then it would be passive in form but active in meaning. So therefore, perfect participle passive, you have missus, having been, if it's passive, sent. While profectus, because it's deponent, passive in form, active in meaning, would be perfective, active, having sent out. Salvius, however, having been ordered by cogidubnus. So, your antecedent for this is salvius. It's nominative, it's masculine, and it's singular, which would be usus. As you can also tell if you did it after he had been ordered, because you have the verb voluit telling you it's past tense, and the perfective participle would give you perfect past. 4 Britons captured in a fight. So therefore, the subject phrase is, or the antecedent is, quator Britanni, which are masculine, nominative, and plural, hence capti. You could also translate it as 4 Britons after they had been. Why do I get had been? Because agabant is past, and then the participle is perfective aspect. Let's talk about the future. The future participle, active, is active, but it's also infixed to the perfect stem, perfect participle stem, but you have an infix right in the middle of ur. Ur tells you it's prospective, gonna, or fixin' to, or finna. The future participle active form of sum is futura, commonly shortened to foray. So therefore, looking at it in contrast, the future participle active would be future perspective aspect active voice going to send. So she is going to write a book would be a, where's the tense? Well, is, where do you get the tense from? From the est verb, aha. So here you see, she is going to write a book. There's the future participle active, and it agrees with she because it's feminine. Now, it can also occur in an indirect statement clause because Catalina believed, past tense, that he, say, always goes back to the subject phrase, was going to kill Cicero. So therefore, this wouldn't work. You need an infinitive in an indirect statement clause, and it's number 2. Why can't it be 3? That Cicero must be killed by him? Then you would have a sibi as the dative of agency. Last one, supines. Well, actually, not the last one. Future participle passive, unda. This indicates a passive construction, and it can be used a number of different ways in Latin. With sum, it creates a debitive aspect, but generally speaking, it is a gerund. When it's by itself, it's gerund. So therefore, progressive and active, just like the present participle. Well, why is it a different form? Because the present participle is a verb acting as an adjective, and the gerund is a verb acting as a noun. So therefore, and when it's with sum, you create a debitive aspect. The money must be discovered by you, and must be unda, must be read. What must be read? The epistle must be read, dative agent phrase, by us. Last one, supines. Supine is an verbal abstract fourth declension noun. Boy, what's in it? It's like a participle, but it's of the fourth declension, and it looks just like the perfect participle passive. Because it follows fourth declension, it's and it's translated as to, or an infinitive, to do something. The supine is very common with ao. So who would come to destruction? And the future, supine with a long u it's actually a means phrase, but is often translated as well as to see. A thing not only shocking in the seeing, but even of the hearing. Fac do sit, he asks what is best in the doing or to do. So therefore the supine looks like a participle, perfect participle passive, but it's got that u ending. So therefore, the circus games were amusing to watch, and in the watching it, see that long u tells you it's a fourth declension. Optimum factu, best in the doing, or the best thing to do. So there we go. There's Deadpool, all said and done. Have fun with the grammar, and until that time, Excelsior.